Researching a company before you go to interview is really, really important. Don't go if you're not going to do the research. This starts with the internet. Look at their website, download as much information as you can, talk to anybody that might work there, look at Companies House, try and get their records to find out how much they're turning over, how stable they are as a business. Part of your research is to ensure that you can demonstrate your keenness. Part of it is actually to make sure it's the right position for you and the right company. Too many people take jobs without realising what they're letting themselves in for.
The only way you do that is you read up on your company, you gem yourself up on the business you want to work for. If you get excited about what you've seen, go and talk to some customers. Go and read up, look at the accounts, look at the website, talk to a few people. Get familiar with the business you want to work with.
If you know anybody that works in that company, ideal. Phone them up, buy them a beer, get close to them and start learning as much as you can about that company. Now, if you don't know anybody in that company, there are some things you can do to find out what's going on. Phone that company up and pretend to be a potential customer. See how they deal with you. What sort of response do you get? How are you handled? And do a bit of mystery shopping in effect. Because if you're applying for a sales role, for example, it would be really useful to know how are they handling potential sales inquiries at the moment. That information can be really useful as a discussion point in the interview.
Well, the key things we need to know about the company itself, the products we sell, the market sectors we deal in, how we're performing in those sectors.
Have an understanding of how long they've been established, what their achievements as an organisation are, where they're going for the future.
Print off everything you can possibly think of. Can you get companies' reports? Can you get details, downloads from the website? Can you get brochures? Are there press releases available? Is there anything in the newspapers about them? Cut it out and keep it. And when you go to the interview, take it with you. It'll stand you in very good stead.
Get to know something about that company that your potential interviewer doesn't expect you to know. And ideally, if you've got some new ideas for them, then they will be much more receptive to you as a candidate. Don't think about getting the job. Think about doing the job when you're actually in that interview. So what are the skills that this person's really looking for me to achieve? What's the objective of this job? Why are they hiring this person? Put yourself in the hiring person's position. If you were interviewing me, what would you want to know? What do you want to hear? What do you not want to hear?
Once they've looked at the company, is look at the competition. It's a competitive market out there. Companies are pitched against each other.
If you've identified that the company you're going for an interview makes widgets, then just type in widgets on Google and you'll see a whole list of other companies that make widgets. So that gives you an idea of who their competitors are.
Don't make the same mistake I made. I joined Gillette, and on my first interview with them, in order to be clever, spoke about the diminishing market of razor blades versus the electric shaver. Because I hadn't done my research, I looked very stupid when they said, well, we actually own Braun, so we'll be all right.
Source as many different press releases as you can, because the press release from the company is obviously putting the positive spin on everything. The press releases from external companies will have a slightly different view on these things. And it's good for you to go in with a balanced view of what's great about this organisation, but where are some of the challenges that they're facing, and raise that in the discussion that you're going to have with the individual.
If it's a public company, read through the annual report. I don't mean read through all the figures. Obviously you need to know if you're going into a company that's making money or not. Read the chairman's statement. Find out what the strategic objectives are of the business. Find out what they're looking to do. Find out what they've acquired recently or got divested. Understand what you're going into.
You also want to make sure, if nothing else, that the company's on a sound, stable footing, financial-wise, because if you want longevity out of a career with a company, you want to make sure that company's going to be around for quite a long time.
Phone up and ask them to send you company brochures. See what type of material they're sending out, what's the quality, what are the key messages that company is trying to convey to me as a potential customer.
A lot of industries have their own industry magazines, which you can look up online, or you can go and subscribe to, or even go to your local library and get a copy.
Marketing departments, sales departments are all very good at handing out information to potential customers. So there's nothing wrong in you ringing an organisation and demonstrating your keenness and speaking to these departments. See what they can send you. You may be surprised.
You can also get a copy of their mission statement usually. It's usually in their financial information and what goals and objectives that company is looking to achieve. Certainly in most large companies, employees carry these sorts of things around their neck, and if you can go in as a potential candidate and know these things off by heart, you're going to be not only impressing your interviewer, you're going to be way ahead of a number of the employees that are already there.
Most websites now will have key individuals, board members. Go on there, read about them. They've all got mini bios on there. Find out where did they come from, previous employers, because you'll probably see a pattern of companies that they like to hire from. Now, if you're one of those companies, ideal.
Use Google, that's what it's there for. Put in the name of the person that you're going to meet, see what comes up. You'll either find them, which is great, if they printed any articles, if they're published in any magazines, you'll get to see where and when. If not, however, you'll certainly find someone with the same name who turned out to be the first person that climbed the North Face on Everest. To drop in any interview, the similarities between someone who's got two names can be a great icebreaker.
And I'd be further impressed if they knew about what various managers and corporate managers had said and commented to the trade press about our strategies.
Take all that information with you when you go to the meeting, and it actually demonstrates that you've done your homework.
I'm amazed the number of times candidates come in to be interviewed by me and they've not done that research. But it's so easy to get hold of that information now on the web, in trade journals, in the financial press.
Roleplay, great tool to use when preparing for an interview. You can do this in many different ways. You can ask a friend or a family member or your mother or your father or your partner to be the person that you're going to be interviewed by. Get them to act as the interviewer and don't prompt them too much, just see what happens.
What are the top 10 things I've done? What are my likes and dislikes? What are my good projects, bad projects? If you've role-played them and you've got the answers in your head, they come out easily. That certainly shows when you come in for the interview.
One guy I did interview and actually gave a job to told me later that he had planned for it, just with a work colleague, and done the preparation in separate offices, and it had worked well.
Visualization, great technique to use, particularly in interviews. Visualize the whole interview, visualize the interview ending in a very positive way for you. Feel very confident, visualize laughter, visualize a very positive conversation during the course of that interview, and it will happen.
Assume you are going to get the interview. It's a small thing, but it's really important. Does everyone in the household know you're expecting a call, and will they all answer the phone in the correct manner? It's highly inappropriate if somebody were to ring to offer you an interview and they get somebody on the other end of the phone who doesn't know who you are, what's the call about, doesn't know, says you're in the bath, says you're lying on the sun lounger in the back garden when you're supposed to be at work.
Have some sort of system in place whereby you've got your reasons for applying for every single job that you have done. Otherwise you're going to get caught out.
And you want to be ready with a pitch that says who you are, what you've done, and what it is that you're looking for in your next job, so that you can get that point across clearly and concisely without fluffing your lines.
I remember one particular time where I had the CV in which I liked. I made the call and the girl picked up the phone and sounded absolutely deadly on the phone. The way she picked the phone up, the questions that I asked her, she was just very low in energy and she didn't have a thing to say. So basically she blew it.
The day before you've got your interview booked, confirm it. A lot of people don't do that. They'll just turn up. Okay, but you're making a difference. You're showing that you're interested. You also don't want to waste your time, and you don't want to waste anyone else's time.